out of the game. The guy was about 6'1" and 250, 260. A man among boys. So when I come to practice one day, and the assistant coach said, "Some dad wants to see you out there." And I walked past guy, so I went out and I looked right away. I knew he wasn't a dad, but this was this kid. He was a sophomore, and he just tore it up for us the next 3 years. He came into school, got kicked out of Torrance, had to go on probation and stuff there, but he looked like he was 35 years old.
What was his name again? Delgadillo?
Delgadillo. And he, great story. Just no home life, had to live with another player his senior year. Went to El Camino for 2 years, Harbor for 2 years. He graduated from college. He ended up at Adams State, and baseball got him through all that.
Wow.
Got him jobs, got him through it. Impossible for him.
Kept him from going astray.
Kept him, it was impossible for him if you just said, this guy's going to graduate from college from the time not that I did it all, but baseball did it.
Yeah.
And it kept him around. And he, dropped out of school here and there, pieced it together, and him and a guy named Marks got scholarships to Adams State and graduated from college.
That's awesome.
And now he's got a family and he calls once in a while, but so I mean,
looks back on it as baseball being the key.
Yeah, and it saved him.
Yeah,
kept him off the streets.
Wow.
But he
great story.
The other coaches go, "How old's that guy?"
Today he probably looks younger than his age.
Yeah. Does he drive the team bus?
So let me tell you what we're here to do. Just really quick,
fun.
And then we can make this conversational. This is just so that we don't have to take crazy notes.
Yeah, great.
Because you get to talk and what was that name again, and we don't have to bother you later, hopefully. But we just have a bunch of questions. We're looking for you to maybe expand on them or throw names around or stories or whatever. And we're trying to get a flavor for who you are, because you went here, you coached here, you have a history in college. You're a baseball guy to the core and a Redondo guy to the core. So you're perfect. Wish we would have had Stevenson around to do the same thing with, But if anything you've got about him that you remember and stuff, that's cool too. I know you played against him and stuff. We're looking to, give people a flavor of what Redondo was like while we can still find people that remember.
Sure.
So that's kind of the goal, and it's good. We're going to put this in this 100-year program, and then it's probably going to go into the archives and somebody.
It's really neat. You guys are going to compliment me. It's really neat you're doing this. The kids for many years will enjoy it. And that's setting up a structure, as Jeff said, to add to it. And then tradition, you build ways that they come in. The kids will look at that stuff. They'll come in and I want to be up there.
Right.
That kind of stuff.
And you feel like you're a part of something so cool.
Yeah,
like why do we love the Yankees? Even if you hate Yankees as a team, a competitive team, you love the history. Who doesn't love the Red Sox history and the Yankees history? I mean, that's what. One other thing while I'm thinking of it, and hopefully in May you're available, but I know I talked to Jeff about it, and we'd love to extend an offer for you to come to the banquet in May and just give a little talk to the boys.
Absolutely.
As a 2015 team, the 100-year gift is, hey, Harry's going to talk to you about how baseball can make an impact, or
give me some.
Crack some jokes, throw some names around. I think they'd get a huge kick out of it, and frankly, it would probably it would shorten some of the coaches' speeches that we have to listen to. So it would be better.
Yeah, that's another thing.
And the players have heard it over and over.
It took me 15 years to learn that. I finally told my coaches after leaving here at West, I said, "You've got this much time.
Yeah.
I love you. You're the best ever. This is it."
Yeah.
And
I will cut you off in the middle.
Right, so we try to stick to it because here somebody go on and on and on. You get into the kid's life.
Yeah.
All right, ready?
Go for it.
Ready?
Go for it.
Do it.
Well, kind of started chronologically, kind of.
Sure.
You were an all-CIF basketball and baseball player for the Seahawks. Who and what inspired you to lean your career toward baseball?
I probably basketball was my favorite sport, and I was a coach in junior high school then at Pier Avenue Junior High School. His name was Avery Bryant, and he coached a lot of the basketball players at Maricosta and Redondo. And when I was a senior, there were 3 all-CIF basketball players at Redondo and 2 or 3 at Maricosta that were at that junior high school at the same time. So I came within 2 blocks of not coming to Redondo. I lived down on 4th Court in Hermosa Beach, and then it was 6th Street in Hermosa Beach, where the cutoff was.
Oh, wow.
Kids on 6th Street and farther up went to Maricosta, so it was what a lucky thing for me that I live within 2 blocks. But I realized later on I wanted to play professionally. I love sports, and I thought, there's not too many 5'10" guys running around the NBA, and I was good in baseball, so I kind of just took that path. Jim Breidwieser came in here my sophomore year and very much so inspired me. He coached the Bees in basketball, the team I was on. We were undefeated champions, and then was my varsity baseball coach. His first year was my sophomore year. So that's kind of, I kind of fell in love with it then. I played through El Camino and Pepperdine and just loved it. I didn't get a chance to play professionally, but I wanted to have it as part of my life, and then it all worked out pretty good coaching.
Great. In 1964, the Daily Breeze named you South Bay Player of the Year. What are your memories of that season?
We were Bay League champions, and a really good hitting team, very good hitting team. Pitching was average, and we still won the championship. We probably hit our way to the Bay League championship. Another great player at that time, our center fielder, his name was Gene Cooper. He went on and played at UCLA. Very, very good ball player. And our coach was outstanding. Jim Breidwieser was. We were so lucky to have a New York Yankee infielder as our coach. Of course, those were the days that they had jobs in the off season. He was a school teacher in the off season. I think he made. He played for three different organizations. And probably the biggest memory was having a great bunch of guys to play with and winning the Bay League title.
What did you take away from your coach? He had all this experience, 3-time world champion with the Yankees. What did you take away?
I think
from
I took the best thing I took away was a deep desire to win, and I watched him develop a lot of players. I think at the high school level, you've got to be able to do that. Pretty well professional baseball, they're coming in there with a lot of talent. So what I took away from him was you're going to get X amount of players, and that's what you got. So you got to develop a little bit more to fit your program. So I think that's what I got from him most.
How big was the Miracosta Redondo rivalry when you were playing?
The basketball rivalry was incredible.
Yeah.
Baseball was, okay. We didn't think about it as much. Basketball games, you had to get for a 7 o'clock game, get at either gym at 5:30, or you're not going to get in the gym. And so it was always huge and everything. Probably of the 3 sports, though, baseball was, we wanted to beat them as Miracosta, but not as much as basketball and football.
Sure. You enjoyed a successful collegiate career at Pepperdine, batted .343 in 2 seasons, later became a member of the Waves Athletic Hall of Fame. What led you to the decision to play at Pepperdine, and did you envision a career playing in the Major Leagues?
I was playing at El Camino College, and I called Jim Breidwieser over here. This is a pretty interesting story. And I said, I want to go on and play. And you weren't getting recruited. There was no recruiting then. And so he called Rod Dato, one of his good friends at USC, who he had played for. I'm pretty sure he was Rod Dato's first All-American.
Wow.
I think it was 1946. I'm not sure. You can check it out. And I think the bat boy on that team was Sparky Anderson.
Wow.
So there's a little history for you. So he was good buddies with Rod Dato. And he said, I know this kid that played here, da-da-da. And he said, we'll take him. So it was going to be SC. But then I did this on my own. I'm looking up the requirements for graduation. They had a 16-unit foreign language requirement. Pepperdine didn't have one. So I went to Pepperdine. That's how that happened.
Didn't like that language.
Yeah. I mean, I would have had to take 4 units of foreign language every semester, and that was kind of how that went. So after that, my coach again had called Gary Marks was the head coach at Pepperdine, and he called me and said, "Give me a scholarship." The scholarship was actually for basketball and baseball.
Okay.
Duck Dowell was the basketball coach, legendary guy, and I sprained my ankle so many times that
In basketball?
In basketball, I mean, it was I loved basketball. I was a pretty good shooter, and I just finally had to just go with baseball. I was out for basketball 2 different years, and bang, 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 and hobbling around, and so that's how I got over.
What did you love about baseball? I mean, what pulled you into baseball finally? Because you obviously set some records and did some good
Yeah.
things in college.
Baseball's a really unique sport. You know, kids. It's so difficult that when you finally get a little piece of it, you think you got it mastered a little bit. It bites you somewhere along the line. And you know, everybody says, well, you know, you're a 300 hitter, so you failed 70% of the time. There's probably nothing else in life where that happens. So it's such a hard game that those are the kind of odds you're stacked up against.
Right.
And it, you know, I just mentioned here, anybody can beat anybody going on the field, and that really intrigued me. That it didn't matter who you were playing, the ball and the bat's the equalizer. And I also like the fact it didn't matter how big you were. You could be the 5'11" guy like Mays or Mantle or anything that could play in the major leagues, and in the other sports pretty well, you had to be pretty big. So that probably is what intrigued me most. It's just a great, difficult game, and I think that was what I liked the most.
Swinging around object, trying to hit around object square.
Yeah, and learning the history of the game, and you know, it was back then it was a tough game. You know, you played tough, ragging all over the place and talking.